Okay. Um, Hi everyone. This is our industry analysis of beer and cider in Spain. I'm Aditi. We also have Alani, Andrew, Michael, and Javi. This is just an overview of what we're going to discuss and a bit about the history of beer in Spain. It has a very long history. It started in 3000 BC, where there was brewing evidence in Barcelona, and then in the 16th century, master brewers arrived, and in the 19th century, modern breweries arrived. Mahou San Miguel was founded in 1890, and it's a key part of that history. It's family owned and a leading company with a lot of tradition and innovation. So, beer in Spain is a cultural cornerstone. It's deeply tied to the cañas y tapas tradition. It's a 7 billion euro economy, and it produces about 344,000 jobs, making up about 1.3% of Spain's GDP. It's an evolving market with non-alcoholic and craft beers, which are booming, such as Mahou Rosé, which we will discuss later. This is just a comparison of the different exports that Spain has, and as you can see, beer has about a pretty significant but still small impact in the economy. And then Mahou San Miguel is a driving force in the beer industry. It's a leader in premium and craft beers, and it has 10 facilities, 8 in Spain, 2 in the US. It's a pioneer in sustainability and global growth. It was founded in 1890, and it has about 130 plus years of experience, as well as 32% market share in Spain, and it exports to over 70 countries.
Yeah, so now let's talk about a little bit of the industry. So first with the industry size. So as of 2023, Spanish beer and cider sales have reached a value of 25,670.7 million in those sales, and that's a 13% increase from the previous year and has been a compound growth rate of about 4.8% per year since 2018. In terms of Europe, and in 2023, $227,545.9 million in sales were made, which is a growth of about 10.3% from the previous year. And since 2018, those sales have increased by a compound annual growth rate of about 3.6% per year. Next. So then for some industry trends, recent industry trends in Spain have actually put a downward pressure on the sales of beer throughout 2023. And although flavored beer is still a niche in proportion, the overall demand has been increasing, and there has been a lot of innovation and experimentation in that area. Spain is also the leader in non and low alcohol beer consumption per capita in Western Europe, and demand for these products has been ever increasing. As for Europe, consumers, millennials primarily have trended towards more diverse beer styles, citing an increase in nutritional awareness as well as the introduction of unique blends of flavors. This has resulted in the EU seeing an increase in demand for premium and high premium alcoholic drinks. Next. In terms of regulations, the General Directorate of Traffic put into law in the 30th of October 2022, strengthening the power of prevention measures and punishments as a result from drunk driving. And in 2024 of April, legislation was passed to set limits for influencers promoting medicine, tobacco, or alcohol products. In Europe, each country has some degree of autonomy in how they regulate alcohol in their own region, and the EU's primary focus has been usually the minimum legal age of consumption, alcohol labeling, and the amount of alcohol brought into the EU. Next slide.
The Spanish beer market is quite concentrated, with a few key players holding a large share of the overall market. While exact percentages can fluctuate depending on the year, region, and type of beer, here's a rough idea of the market share distribution among the leading brands. At number one, we have Mahou San Miguel Group, which makes up 40 to 45% of the market. Mahou is typically the largest beer producer in Spain. At number two, we have Heineken España, which makes up 30 to 35% of the market. Heineken owns several brands in Spain, with Cruzcampo being particularly dominant in the southern regions and Amstel being popular across the country. Number three, we have the Dam Group, which makes up 20% of the market. Estrella Damm is currently one of the top selling brands in Spain, particularly in Catalonia and larger urban areas. Number four, we have Grupo Cervezas Alhambra, which makes up 5 to 8%. Although a smaller player overall, Alhambra has grown considerably, especially with its premium craft offerings. Next slide.
So looking at the SWOT analysis, one strength that Mahou San Miguel does have is their innovative thinking of there is a drink for everyone, as they provide over 100 brands in different categories. A weakness that they do have is that there's so many different types of beers and many beer companies, so the market is very saturated. However, they do research on points of sale, more efficient digitization, and improved post-sale services to help manage their ever-changing industry. So they do have two opportunities, expanding to continental Europe by investing 50 million euros and double its sales volume between 2023 to 2027. And another opportunity is to expand sales to Africa and Asia. So some of their threats are fluctuating raw material costs and changing consumer preferences. The House San Miguel must also be aware of external threats such as environmental Overall, Spain is trying to reduce their carbon footprint by introducing renewable energy, waste utilization, and reusable containers from cultivation to consumer. Next slide, please. So the biggest downtick was during the height of the pandemic, and numbers upticked exponentially post-pandemic. So in total, their market value post-pandemic was better than pre-pandemic. Since travel restrictions were lifted, the on-premise consumption of beer and cider skyrocketed for cafes, hotels, and restaurants. Next slide, please. So beer wins by a landslide when compared to cider in the market growth from 2018 to 2023. It's been consistent throughout the years. This is because beer is inexpensive and has a lighter taste, which makes it easier to consume when compared to cider. Next slide. So previously stated, Mahou San Miguel will be investing 50 million euros in the beer and cider industry. So according to predictive analytics, the Spanish beer and cider market is expected to increase by 21.8% by 2028. Next slide.
Now we'll talk about beer exports and beer imports. The demand for export does not seem to be slowing down, which means the impact of the beer industry from Spain will only keep creating more opportunity. Spain is a significant exporter of beer with notable growth in recent years due to production standards, diverse beer styles, and competitive pricing, while key export markets for Europe include Portugal, UK, and Germany, and non-EU countries include USA and China. Moving on to imports. This could be, so for imports, there's a barrier for imports due to established beer tradition and local brands being favored. This could be tied to the cultural pride Spanish have that they prefer to stick to local beers, as imported beer is chosen less than local beers. Now, why would they manufacture in Spain? There are several key reasons to manufacture in Spain, such as for its strategic location, brewing tradition, cost efficiency, sustainability, and growing demand. Spain offers access to both European and Mediterranean markets. Spain boasts an established brewing industry with experienced manufacturers. Labor and operational costs are competitive compared to other European countries. Spain promotes sustainable brewing practices, including sourcing local ingredients like barley and hops. And manufacturing in Spain allows companies to tap into the growing craft beer movement. Unique Spanish beer styles like the Mediterranean-inspired craft beers are not widely available internationally, creating an opportunity to export and introduce distinctive flavors to new markets.
So to piggyback off that, Mahal appears to be going for growth via innovation and new products in order to expand into new target market segments. So we chose to profile Mahal Rosé. It's a relatively new product launched in 2023 with the goal of expanding the target market and its Mahal's customer base. And you can see in the ad above the branding surrounding Mahal Rosé. It portrays it as an adventurous and bold new product with an unusual flavor profile for beer to try and get new drinkers and expand its market segment. So, next slide. A little bit about the product itself. As I mentioned, it's a new, relatively unusual flavor. It's fruity, it's floral. It expands to different palate tastes, right? So it has a 4.8 alcohol by volume, which is a lighter beer. As I mentioned, it was launched in 2023. The potential market for Mahal Rosé is the younger generation, non-typical beer drinkers, adventurous palates, and people who traditionally wouldn't come to beer as their drink of choice. So it's a private company, so it's hard to nail down concrete distribution and sales. But so far, distribution seems to be limited to Spain and other countries around Europe in addition to Spain itself. It's also available online. And we chose this product because it's an interesting new product and it has good growth potential both in Europe, Spain, and globally.
Thank you. Okay, that was 10 minutes, 2 seconds.
Ship it.
Yeah,
Cool.
ship it. That's, I think, good right there.
Okay.
Perfect.
Ooh.